Hi grade 6s. Today we're going to review a greatest common factor and how to find one, as well as a least common multiple. The greatest common factor is the largest number that is a common divisor, common factor. It's a number that goes into a given set of numbers. So for example, the greatest common factor of 15 and 20 is 5. Let's quickly look at the numbers 6 and 12 together. If somebody asked you, what is the greatest common factor of 6 and 12, would you know how to find it? So let's look at 6 and 12. I often like making a handy little t-chart like this, but it's not necessary. So you want to find out what factors go into 6 and what go into 12, and then what the largest number that goes into both numbers. So let's look at 6. We know 1 times 6 is 6. We know 2 times 3 is 6. So we know that 1, 2, 3, and 6 are all of the factors of 6. Let's look at 12. 1 times 12 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. Now, do you see how I just stopped at 6? There's absolutely no reason for me to continue going higher or put 12 down because I'm looking for the greatest common factor. And 6 is the largest number, the largest factor that can go into 6 because we are looking for whole numbers. So therefore, 6 is the greatest common factor that can go into 6 and 12. Let's do one more problem together. What is the greatest common factor of 10 and 25? You can start by writing the number 10 as well as the number 25. And I like making this little handy t-chart, but it's not always necessary. So first we know that 1 times 10 is 10, 2 times 5 is 10, and there aren't any other whole numbers that make up 10 other than 1 times 10 is 10. So these are all of the factors that go into 10. Now let's find the factors of 25. 1 times 25 is 25. 5 times 5 is 25. And now when you're looking for the greatest common factor, it isn't necessary to go higher than the lowest number because you know anything over 10, in this case, doesn't go into 25 because factors are two whole numbers that factor into each of these. So for the sake of this, we can go ahead and write 25, and then we can see that these are our factors of 25. However, when we're looking for what is the greatest common factor, we can see that 5 is the greatest common factor. So the 25 is unnecessary, but you can go ahead and put it there if you want to. If you have a little bit of extra time, you can go up here where I'm drawing this green heart around and see if you can prove that 18 is the greatest common factor of 72 and 56. All right, let's look at the least common multiple now. The least common multiple. It's the smallest positive number that is a number of 2 or more numbers. Let's say somebody asked you to find the least common multiple of 4 and 6. So this is when it's also very handy, as always, to know your multiplication table because we're going to list multiples of each number and then find the lowest common multiple. So multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and remember in the last video it goes on and on and on because it's infinite. Now let's do multiples of 6. Multiples of 6 are 6 and 12, 18, 24, and again the list goes on and on and on. Now you see that there's common multiples. There's 12 as well as 24, and if we keep going, you may find others. However, we are being asked to find the lowest common or the least common multiple, which is 12. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and see you next time.